The themes of Star Wars with director Rian Johnson, Star Wars Rebels Season 4 finally being launched, and the Han Solo movie might finally be wrapped up. All of that and more coming up on This Week in the Force. Welcome one and all to this week's episode of This Week in the Force. My name is Cody Curtis, and if you're new here, this is a weekly show where every Wednesday morning I go through a list of articles found on Star Wars news nets, and then I give you my opinion on them and what I think they mean. And finally, I turn the time over to you guys and I ask you what you think they mean, so we can get a conversation started. And now, with no more hesitation and the Force behind us, let's begin. And the first four sets of articles we have are about that upcoming film, Star Wars The Last Jedi. The first three we can actually go through pretty quickly. The first article is actually about the Last Jedi trailer. It's just a more in-depth look about it, about what each frame means, about what certain speculations about what's going to happen inside of this particular film. Is Rey going to turn to the dark side? Is she going to stay on the good side with Luke? We just don't know. But this article is a really, really good way to just try to get some more speculation going, try to get some fan theories running, and just getting an overall feel what we believe Star Wars The Last Jedi will eventually be like. Next up, there's a TV spot with a bit of controversy behind it because some people believe that there might be a line from Luke Skywalker that was not in any of the other previous marketing that we have seen before. Honestly, TV spots don't generally interest me, so I don't think I'm going to be taking a look at this, but if you want to, go right ahead and come back here and tell us, was there a line spoken by Luke that wasn't in any other footage? If so, that might actually make certain people interested to go watch this TV spot. Alrighty, next up, apparently the actor Noah Segan is going to be a cameo in The Last Jedi, kind of like Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper in The Force Awakens. Now, I wish I could tell you more about what I think about the actor, what I think about this news. I think it's cool that actors and people want to become part of the Star Wars universe, even if it's just cameos. I think that's cool. But as far as Noah Segan goes, I don't know anything about him. I've never seen him in anything. I've never even heard of the guy. So, besides the fact that I think it's cool, I don't really have much else to say. But what I can speak more about is what director Rian Johnson said to the people at Yahoo. He not only talked about Star Wars The Last Jedi, but he talked about working with Lucasfilm and a bunch of other stuff. And the main point of this article I found was his feelings on what Star Wars actually means. And this is what he had to say. What Star Wars is really about is the transition from adolescence into adulthood. And a big part of this is navigating the relationships with your family, with your parents, with the people closest to you, with the people you most love, the people you're most afraid of. For me, it's about being a kid and going into the next phase of your life. And it just goes to show that through every film that we get, through every message that the Star Wars community and the Star Wars films and everything we get from Star Wars teaches us, it just makes us realize how powerful this stuff is. And I'm so glad that Rian Johnson is not only able to direct Star Wars The Last Jedi, but he's able to be fully passionate about it. Because this is a guy who loves Star Wars more than a lot of Star Wars fans do. He's crazy about this stuff. And I think many of you will agree with me that having Rian Johnson at the head of The Last Jedi was a really great decision. I wish he could have been part of Star Wars Episode 9, but that is what it is. Alright, now moving on to some pretty big news in regards to the Han Solo movie. Apparently, the crew behind the Han Solo movie, apparently they are having a wrap-up party already when it's not completely done. And I know that's definitely going to confuse a few people. There are going to be some who are like, well, why would they have a wrap-up party if they're not done filming? Doesn't that mean they're just basically throwing in the towel and they're jumping ship and this isn't going to be a good movie? Well, not exactly. What I take this as is that yes, all of the filming for the Han Solo movie, it's pretty much completed. It's pretty much all done. But the post-production with editing, with sound mixing, and all the stuff post-filming, that is not complete yet. I think that's going to take at least a couple more months to get completely done. But I think this particular wrap-up party, it's just an indication speculation to show that Ron Howard and the entire crew behind the Han Solo movie, they did it. They wrapped up filming. Everything is ready to go. And even though the Han Solo movie had a bit of a rough start, be it with the acting coaches, with losing Lord and Miller so far into the process, and everything that has happened so far, I think this film is going to be fantastic. I mean, Ron Howard and everybody else, we haven't really heard of any more mishaps since Ron Howard has taken over the helm, and everybody seems pretty confident about this. And of course, Ron Howard is a really phenomenal director. If you guys couldn't already tell, I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm just getting over a fever and the flu, so I'm really sorry if I have to cut this episode a little bit short, but let's go through these next couple of things. And by couple of things, I mean the first 2 episodes of Star Wars Rebels has officially launched. And by officially launched, of course I mean Season 4. And I already have a review for this up on the channel. I'll give you a little tag and click right up there to go check out that review. But guys, I think that Star Wars Rebels Season 4 has a phenomenal start. It looks like it's going to be a great start towards a really, really exciting season. And if you don't know, Season 4 is the final season of Star Wars Rebels. We've been building up to this. I'm sure pretty much everybody knows that we are going to see the team on Rebels, or at least General Syndulla, go into battle at the events of Rogue One. So we got lots of exciting stuff that we're building up to. And Grand Admiral Thrawn is back. Guys, I love Admiral Thrawn. I know you do too. And honestly, the future of Admiral Thrawn, I am hoping that he does not get killed, because I would love to see Grand Admiral Thrawn make it out of the television spectrum and become a villain in a live-action Star Wars movie. And on that note of Grand Admiral Thrawn, I have a book recommendation for you guys, and that is the book Thrawn by Timothy Zahn. If you guys do not know who Timothy Zahn is, he has written some of the best books in Star Wars anything, and he's the one who introduced us to Grand Admiral Thrawn back in the day with the Shadow of the Empire books. And if you guys haven't read those, I highly recommend checking those out along with his new book Thrawn, which I hear is in the works to get a sequel, because all of these books about Thrawn are fantastic, they're fascinating, and they're just really, really enjoyable reads. And guys, I do want to get your thoughts on everything we've talked about today, be it the books or all the Star Wars The Last Jedi news, with what Rian Johnson thinks about Star Wars, with some of the speculation and theories about Star Wars The Last Jedi. I really want to get what you guys think about all of this news. So if you have any questions or statements, head over to Twitter or head down to the comment section below and get a conversation started. And for those of you who are new here, don't be afraid to press that subscribe button and tap the bell notification so you'll know when new content, and more specifically, new episodes of this show will be up on the channel. And as always, thank you so much for showing up. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you all next week.